So I'm live here. So yesterday I was talking about how to coordinate with your business executives and how they are thinking about how their mentality is to see the business in analytical area in the terms of the profitability, in terms of the lead conversion. So when you have to talk with them, are you guys with me? Can someone write a message to me on Facebook or Skype so I can see if you guys are there? Because today's lesson is a bit more interactive and a two-way conversation needed rather than one-sided information. So I have to respond to your questions. So can someone write a message to me if they can see this video? Suresh, Doctor, or anyone else online? I haven't seen any message till now. So should we continue the session, or if they can see this? I haven't seen any message till now. Okay, I just got a message from Mohsin. So you guys can see this video in the later stages. So we were talking about the measurable or a smart response when you have to interact with the business executives or the managers or the other disciplines from the UX. So it should be smart, the specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and time-bound. So you have to relate your conversation in language which other understood, and that other is the business language. And your coordination and your response should be revolve around will it save money, will it make money, or will it cut the costs? And in the yesterday topic, I provided you few information about a few samples that how to correspond and how not to correspond. Talking about the colors, talking about the kerning, or talking about the design areas, this is exactly or absolutely which you should not talk about. You should talk about that, about the projection that will be able to blow past Q3 projections if we make these 4 UX changes. So there's a one sample of interaction. Or you can involve a money, that how many money increase if you are involving with some suggestion, or you can see a problem for the financial bleeding stoppage. So this can be a sample. So these were the sample answers which we covered in the yesterday's session. Excuse me. So let's continue with today's session. So today's session is how to be a part of requirement gathering from client. So it doesn't matter if you are doing a business, consultancy, freelancing, job, so you are handling a client. If it's your own project then or a product, then you have to treat yourself as a client. So for that client, is a one word. Yep, that's right, one word. One word in the form of the question, that is why. Remember that golden circle I had covered into a previous session, and that revolves around what, how, and why. And you can get the information from these dimensions for the requirement gathering. And that why is your central part, the most centered part, where you have to understood about. So when you use that word and ask it at least 3 times, you will find yourself having a very difficult conversation with the folks. In one of another session in the later stages, I can show you the 3 why scenarios or 5 why scenarios where you can drill down and trigger that where the problem is. So that's another theory where you have to drill down. But for the sake of this session, let me tell you that you guys can drill down the requirement or get the requirement in a very specific way, if you ask this question to yourself for each and every requirement in terms of why. As an example, if you're talking with the customer about your customer is saying, I'm not happy with my website, or I'm not happy with my product's look. Why you are not happy? That's the first question. And his answer may be in the term of, I'm not sure, maybe it's a color, maybe it's maybe it's a text. Just look around. And then you have to, again, drill down the question and take it to the next level. What about the colors, and why these colors are not, why you don't having an appeal for these colors? So that's the second in-depth why. Here's an example. The stakeholder, we have to port all desktop data views to responsive format. Now, this is a solution, not a need. So when you have to start this conversation, that why you have to port all desktop data views to the responsive format, so stakeholder will respond you back. So people can work on their smartphones or other devices. And then your question should be, why would they want to do that? Your stakeholder will come back so they can get work done when they're away from their desks. And then you can again ask, why would they want to look at these massive data tables on a 3 or 5 inch screen when they won't be able to view all columns and rows at once through your desktops? That would make it impossible to compare data points. Now, stakeholders blank stare, because nobody knows if, how, or why someone would want to access a data-heavy enterprise report system on the tiny screen. Now you can see from this conversation what the impact would be. Everyone in the room now realize that the need is grossly undefined. They might have heard about the responsiveness, or they might knew these things, as they are the pros and professional as well. So they just wanted everything into the responsive format. And you have to keep ask about 3 whys or 5 whys and get the in-depth requirement. That it is not necessary to provide all the information or heavy information to provide to customer into the responsive formats. So you have to keep asking from the stakeholders, keep asking to get the actual need. Other than that, your conversation will just start like that. Okay, we need a responsive website, and you will start working with the responsive formats. So not the responsive product, responsive sites, but you have to start your conversation in the way of page by page or module by module. Where is it really needed in the responsive or not? So that needs should be clearly well defined. There is a scenario after this conversation. Everyone in the room now realizes that need is grossly undefined, and as such, it has no business being a requirement. A simple exchange like this is all it takes to make people receptive to the idea that there's a whole lot we do not know and did not think about here. That's your opening to suggest that the UX and user research work that helps figure it out and that helps generate meaningful requirements that deliver value, both to the users and back top to the business. This why method works better than any other way I have tried over the last 3 decades to get stakeholders to budge from their position that UX work is unnecessary or a nice to have. It will work all time, every time. So that's a little tip for you guys, because I had promised you guys that I will share my tips with you. So the impact, this why method works better than any other way to get stakeholders to budge from their position. That's I already mentioned about this impact. So guys, this was all about this presentation. If you will talk with your stakeholders or the other disciplines in method, in the terminology which they can understand, you can synchronize very perfectly, you can communicate very well, and you can talk smart in terms of UX identification, needs requirements assessment, and other areas to align with your to-do list. Now I'm open for the questions. If you guys have any question, do let me know. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So please write down your questions if you have any. So I'll be back with the response.